Ertu á leið heim úr vinnu? Stilltu á FM 89,1.
Við erum hér á Háskólatorgi með fulltrúum nefndarhreyfingarinnar sem að vekja athygli á því að fjöldi erlendra nema hafa ekki fengið inngöngu við skólann þrátt fyrir að hafa greitt öll gjöld. Þetta misskilningur segja yfirvöld en við ætlum aðeins að kafa nánar í það með þeirra eigin orðum. Hi, can you explain to me what is happening here?
So we have a sort of an international student crisis going on. Some people may have seen some news going around in the media. They are students, international by the hundreds, who are basically banned from starting their studies here at the university. They've been accepted. They did all the paperwork in time. But the Directorate of Immigration is not releasing their residency permit, student residence permit, which makes them basically stay in a limbo. And we are in contact with many of them.
Yeah. How many of them are you in contact with?
So, we do not have the exact numbers for that because only the university and the UTL have those numbers. But we are in contact with over like 90 people. And those people are in contact with some other people. So it's all just kind of as many as we could contact because they all organized together. There's, I think, a Facebook group of scammed applicants for the University of Iceland, and that's how we got in contact with them and into like group chats and stuff like that.
And 90 people, this is a lot of people. Are all of them here in Iceland?
No. Some of the students managed to come here on a tourist visa, which is 90 days. And the rest have been not permitted to enter because of like immigration not letting them. And so those students that are here, if nothing is done, they will be deported in November when the visas end. And yeah, it just won't, there will be no justice for them, essentially.
No. And it's a lot of, time and preparation they put in this and efforts, energy. Like we see a lot of things.
So much money.
Yeah, so much money. We see a lot of things in the media that, these students are coming here just to scam the university and stay in this country and get things for free, all this kind of rhetorics. But actually, it takes a very long time and a lot of money to just plan and apply to this university. It's not just the university fees, the 75,000 krona. It's actually the fees to apply to UTL. It's the healthcare insurance. It's housing deposit. It's all the fees for legal documents and sending them in time and all this. It's a huge amount of effort and money. It's an academic plan they had. And the fact that they are being refused right now, it's a strong injustice. And I think students here at the university and teachers should be in solidarity with this because this is a matter of integrity for this whole university.
Yeah, open and international is what it says here behind you. It's on purpose. I think that you're sat here, but you have been now at the university. Since Monday, with an appearance about this. How are the other students accepting this? Are they even aware?
So, I was only here on Monday, our first day, and most are unaware. Those who are aware, it's just I heard something about it, and they're maybe it's just me and I'm bad at communicating with people, but most have just used those pamphlets as a napkin, I think, and just discarded them right away. So I would hope that it's just not the reality that people just don't care about these students that are in this position, and that is just how it looks. But
how it was portrayed in the media, because we saw a lot of things about the TikTok scam, some people that were taking money for I don't know, some type of service to get people into a university in Iceland or something like that.
So all the students applied directly to the university. There was no middle person in that application. And how do I say this? You cannot assume that education is free and then actually get that education. It does not work like that. It is impossible to not pay all of those fees that are required to apply to this university and to continue studying. So it's just completely false narrative.
And so even if there was a middleman, you would still have to go the governmental official way.
Yeah, but there is none. Everybody that we've asked, they have applied directly.
And has the university, Silja Bara or anyone here, have they spoken to you or given you any, I don't know, answers?
No. From what we could gather, even the teachers here are left in a limbo. Some of them are, with students, in this case, in their class, that are only helped by other students to keep on attending classes, giving
because they don't get like a kennitala.
They don't have access to the material. They don't have access to anything, but they are so eager to start their studies that they are still trying to make it happen in the hope that they will soon receive this permit. But most likely they are facing deportation. Because as you said, they are on a tourist visa, and the teachers don't have anything coming from higher up telling them how to deal with this. So it's really dependent on each department. Each department is giving the students, from what we gather, a different answer. Some are flexible and are trying to help, some are not. And the teachers are just also left not knowing what's happening and what to do with these students that they are looking at directly in the classroom.
Yeah, so it's like creating a friction in various places within the university. But why is this happening? What is the reason for it? Is it like miscommunication between UTL and the university, or is it just part of this whole new government no immigrants policies?
I mean, we can only speculate, right? But it could have been a problem of administration, miscommunication at the beginning. I don't know if this is what they want to claim, sure. But the result, what is happening right now, is very clear and needs actually action. And the fact that right now, knowing all this, they are not taking any steps, any actions to solve the solution, this is saying something, especially considering that most of the international students come from outside the European Union. If it looks like it does fit the immigration policy, and the rhetorics around it is really taken by certain groups also that are happy that the students are not coming in. So,
and again, this excuse for miscommunication and errors in administrative bureaucracy stuff, they knew back in February that there's an increase in applicants, a 30% increase. And they still did not adjust the timeline. They did not do anything. They did not take any actions to make themselves follow this reality that there's so many more applicants.
Anticipate, I think. Yeah. I think that's okay. There could be some misskilningur and this that is a very popular excuse here in Iceland. But I think they had all the time to anticipate this, and they didn't. And they waited for this to become a crisis.
And do you think it's purposeful that they waited for this to become a crisis to maybe tell other applicants further on that this is not as easy as they thought, or something like that?
Potentially. We can, as I say, we can always speculate, and that looks like it can be a likely option, yeah.
But also we can demand answers. We can come together and we can say that the university should disclose why they let this happen. This is not okay, and this is just outrageous, because all of these people that we're in contact with, they're all shocked by how this could happen on such a big scale, because this is not how universities are supposed to work.
Yeah. And on top, I would say that the scale of it is being exposed right now, but this is not a new problem. We also were in contact with students who used to be international students and are denouncing the way they've been treated, both by the university and UTL in their attempt to get an education here. So I think it is very exposed right now because of the amount of students, but the problems were systematic already before. It's just that people were isolated and were not organizing together to actually bring this issue forward.
Yeah.
Yes. So how are the students, how are they getting by? How are they doing? They are not permitted to work anywhere. How do they eat?
That is one of those questions that we actually have to ask them. But I think most are surviving on their last savings. But again, students are not made of money, and most have come here with a plan, with a concrete hope for having this university as their place for the next couple of years. And so they are just trapped on this island with their last savings. They gambled on this university, and they did not get anything in the end, and this is very, I don't know, very alarming to me.
And when they get deported, their life is much more different than it was before back home, because they probably sold apartments and
Exactly. Yes. So they have invested into Iceland.
Yeah, like uprooted everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, and nothing is done.
Yeah, but what message is this sending, like, to the international educational community? Do you know? Are you in contact with some other universities, like in Europe or globally, that have heard of anything like this? Because this is not normal. I think it's safe to say.
No, we're not yet in contact with others, but actually something that would be really, really good to look at and investigate as the problem develop. We are right now really at the beginning of it. We are trying to organize around it, raise their voices and so on, but we need to look at the bigger picture and where this specific issue that is happening right now on site here is actually belonging to a wider pattern. Yeah.
Yeah, this is quite alarming. But we spoke about, I asked you about Silju Bara, but has she addressed this in any way, like publicly or anything like that?
I don't think so, no. The only response the students got was, hey, would you like the application fee refunded? And that application fee is 75,000. And you can imagine how much more they have spent. It's like thousands and thousands and thousands of Icelandic kronur or euros, and it's insane to even propose that sort of pennies to those students. It's insane.
It sounds like this could be maybe a legal matter. These students, they could, if I'm not wrong, they could press charges against the university or against the government for this.
They could and should, I think. Yeah, definitely. But we are here not with any legal power. We're just a movement that tries to raise their voices and help other people help them. Because the more people are aware of what is happening, the more people, I think, will join in solidarity, and we'll be able to make something happen that is actually good after all of this. Yeah.
Ragnar? Já, sæl Ragnar, við erum að skoða hérna mál nemendana sem alþjóðlegu nemendana sem hefur svona eiginlega verið hafnað eða þeir settir út í horn. Hefur eitthvað fylgst með þessu í fjölmiðlum?
Ég verð að viðurkenna ekki nóg, ég hef heyrt um þetta en ég hef ekki alveg sett mig nógu mikið inn í þetta.
En svona það sem þú veist, hérna hvernig líst þér á hvað sé komið svona fram við fólk?
Mér finnst það náttúrulega ekki gott og ég þekki náttúrulega sjálf svolítið líka til þessara að vinna með þetta kerfi sem, þú veist, þessar umsóknir að fara í gegnum eins og dvalarleyfis og umsóknir og svoleiðis, og hvað þetta er ótrúlega eitthvað óþjált kerfi og leiðilegt og það er alltaf að seinka, það er alltaf meiri tími sem líður í þessu kerfi og þannig að já, það er bara virkilega leiðilegt að sjá hvernig þetta verður alltaf minna skilvirkara, sko.
Já, einmitt. Vel orðað. Það verður alltaf minna skilvirkara þetta kerfi, en núna lítur út fyrir það að svona í kringum 100 nemendur sem voru búin að borga staðfestingargjöld, búin að selja allt sitt og flytja á milli heimshluta, eru hér mörg hver á túristavísa og í bara einhverju limbói, en háskólinn virðist ekki ætla að svara þeim neitt. Finnst þér þetta gott lúk fyrir háskólann?
Nei, alls ekki. Það veitir þessum nemendum ekki mikið öryggi ef háskólinn ætlar ekki að koma aðeins og mótsviði og standa með þeim í rauninni í þessu ferli.
Hvernig finnst þér að nemendur í háskólann geti svona stutt þennan hóp?
Kannski með því að vekja athygli á hversu leiðilegt þetta kerfi er. Það er kannski eitt af því. Tala um það.
Yes, my name is Armando.
And you're part of the international student community in Iceland?
Yes, definitely. I came here as an international student, and I'm working in Iceland, and yeah, I consider I'm a proud member of the international student community. I studied in Slovenia. Also, I took courses in Austria, Sweden. Yes, I've been around European universities for quite some time.
And is this situation here, is it quite special, or is this something that you are seeing globally? Is it a part of a bigger problem, or is this just an Icelandic thing?
I've noticed, for example, in the Netherlands, I was just there recently in a conference, and also in Denmark, that often in the media, international students from non-European countries are being framed as a problem. Yes, sometimes even as in the case of Sweden, for instance, they are being framed as a security threat, implying that many students that are from non-European countries, such as, for example, China or Russia, could be spies even. This is circulating in mainstream Swedish news media. Yeah.
This is quite similar to the TikTok news we heard here.
Yes, which I think it's incredibly problematic. I read the article in Morgunblaðið to imply that international students are somehow naive and gullible, and are not able to make reasonable decisions for themselves. So that's interesting for the critical social scientists and anthropologists. There are some elements here of colonial thinking that I think it's definitely worth considering.
Do you think there is is there possibly a legal matter here? Could foreign students now in this situation, do you think they could sue the Icelandic government, the university, because everything that I've been looking through here past couple of days, it seems about so.
Yes, so I would not speculate much, because if the international students would like to organize in a legal action, I think they probably would not like to advertise that. But I would assume that, there must be some legal basis, because the financial, the emotional investment that they put into their applications, not to mention that they did not hear from the university for quite some time. And if you think about it, by now, we still don't know how many people applied, how many people were rejected, from which countries. I know a few countries that were rejected. They are mostly in East and West Asia and Africa. So I think that also in terms of empirical data analysis, it is really important to dig those numbers, and also in terms of transparency. And it's a matter of trust, after all. I think someone commented to me that there was an article recently saying that the University of Iceland is the second most trusted institution in Iceland. So I think we can demand a little more transparency from a respectable institution. Yeah.
So what you're saying is this could probably like a racial matter.
Well, I would say that the first step would be to check those numbers, and see what countries were being rejected. And I would not generalize as a racial matter per se, but I think that we can speak for the numbers themselves. We have a number of international students here in Iceland. We have a number of international staff members in Iceland. We could easily analyze, for example, the proportion of representation in positions, in leadership positions, even within the university, and what kind of research are conducted, and who's conducting those researches. Are we allowing a representative part of the Icelandic population, immigrant, foreign or a foreign background, to be represented within the university as it is? Yeah. So
the university that prides himself upon being open and international is maybe not as international as they want us to believe.
Well, I would sure hope so, and I think many students come here, international students come here in the promises of equality, justice, meritocratic society, that you can show up, put up your work, and you're gonna be recognized, and you're gonna have opportunities. So I think it's a big test here for not only the Icelandic universities, but also I think the Minister of Education, you know, and broadly to Icelandic society as a whole. Yeah.
Ole Sandberg.
And what's your position here in the university?
I teach environmental philosophy primarily, also other kinds of philosophy. But I'm teaching in environmental philosophy in the international program of environment and natural resources. And that's relevant here because it's an international program.
Yeah, speaking of international, we're here with where the No Borders have set up like a camp to make people more aware about the problems of international students in the university. Have you heard anything about this at all?
Yes, I mean, I'm used to it. I've been teaching in this program for 10 years now, and every year there's students who are not registered until several weeks into the semester, not by no fault of their own. But this year has been the worst so far. We have students who are arriving five weeks because they didn't get the visa from UTEL. We have students who have been here and participating in class for the whole semester, but are still not in the system. And as teachers, we can find some ways to work around that. I'm used to that, but it's more work for me every year. And this year it has been so bad that now it's 5 weeks in, and we have to have tests in the middle of the semester. And that requires that the students are present, that they've read, but also that they're logged into the system because the tests are in the system. And nothing works when students can't get into the system.
Yeah, they can't get into the system because they don't have a kennitala. But you're saying this is not an entirely new problem, but it is increasing because of the increase in international students with the university. Why is this overlapping with the UT and a university not addressed?
That is a really good question. Like, it has been, as I said, it's the worst it's been ever this year, but it has been an issue every year for at least 10 years. And why hasn't the university, the government done anything to coordinate? I mean, we have two institutions that are probably not talking to each other and not working together, UTEL and the university. But we have to remember that they are like the right hand and the left hand of the same body. Like, a brain needs to coordinate its movements. And when we have, like, just as an example of how things are not coordinated, I talked to students who were in this situation just a week ago. They have to apply to the university in February. They get a reply in May and have to have their documents by mail to UTL 1st of June, which was a Sunday. They had 11 days from the confirmation from the university to have everything by mail to UTL. In some places it takes 2 weeks just to get the documents that they need. And then when they manage to do all of that, what I'm thinking is that UTL probably does not work very efficiently during June and July, like they're on vacation, which is when the most applications need to be processed. So we just have a system that's not working.
Yeah, but and it has not been working for a very long time. Would you say that maybe it's intentional? I'm putting you on the spot. Sorry.
No, I mean, a government can have different intentions and plans. We might have, like, one part of the government might think we need to tighten immigration and make it more difficult to get to Iceland, because they want to, follow populist sentiments. And on the other hand, they also have the intention of being part of the world and having an international quality university and a research institute. And those two things can't work at the same time. If you want to have an international institution, then we need international students and international researchers here. And you can't do both at the same time. So no, I don't think it's intentional that they want to hurt the students. Maybe they have an intention of making it more difficult for migrants in general, but then they're hurting. Then they can't have an international university.
But like globally, for the university, this seems like it's not a good look, so to say, to I don't know, close the doors for all these students applying internationally. It must have some effects in the. There's a ranking, and I know the university is quite proud of that ranking, being part of the 100 best university in the world or something like that. And they're always aiming towards getting like closer to one. So I just wonder, this does not go together.
No, right now I don't actually know what these international rankings are based on. They have some kind of metric, publications and things like that. Probably not student satisfaction, and certainly not the satisfaction of students who couldn't make it here because of bureaucracy. But of course it will get out in other ways, like those students will talk to other students and it will get known that you shouldn't apply to Iceland because your life will be ruined. Some of them have had to. I talked to around 30 students online a week ago who are still trapped in their home countries and who did everything. They applied to the university, they have all the academic credentials, they've fulfilled the migration criteria to get visas, and then they couldn't get here.
And paid all the fees.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fees.
They feel like they've been cheated, that it's been a scam. Some of them applied to other universities and said no to them because they were accepted to Iceland and they thought this was a good place. It's also hurting our, like Iceland in general's reputation, because some of them expressed that we wanted to go to the Nordic country because we thought this was a safe place, a place of democracy, of equal rights, and now we feel like this was all a lie. I mean, things like this hurt our reputation both as a country and as a university.
Do you think any of the students are considering pressing charges against the UTL or the university, or because you used the word scam?
Oh yeah, there were certainly people who mentioned like, what can we do there were people who felt like they've been scammed out of their money. They paid a lot of money to the university and to UTL for the applications, plus all the money that they have paid because they gave up their apartments at home, they planned their trips, and like all of that cost a lot of money too.
And also this is taking a lot of time of their year. Yeah. It's like their whole year has been preparing for this, and now it's almost over.
And they're wasting an academic year, and they have said no to other academic job opportunities. So yeah, some of them did mention, like we mentioned suing the university. I have no idea how that could play out.
So you being a part of the teaching staff here, do you feel like there's definitely awareness within the groups of teachers here at the university, but is anyone addressing it like internally?
So as individual teachers, we can do what we can to work around the problem. We have to send reading material to the students individually as emails and like. Yeah,
no, more like a solution based. Is it like with the authority, like university authority, Silja Bara or anyone? Are they addressing this? Are they addressing the teachers?
That is what we've been waiting for. Like once I started hearing about the problem, and I talked to my students, and then I started talking to other teachers who I know are working in programs that have international students, and all the teachers were aware of it and were frustrated and said we're talking about it in the departments, but having department meetings is not enough. We need some departments have set a cutoff date where they said, okay, if you can't make it in October, then you can't do your studies. And others have been more flexible. Some have made online options. This is all just, chaos. Everybody needs to find a flexible solution. What we need is information from the rector. Like, this is an institutional issue, and we need just a message about what is the policy.
Alþýðufélagið eigandi Samstöðvarinnar. Markmið félagsins að auðga og bæta umræðu í samfélaginu. Allir geta gengið í Alþýðufélagið með því að skrá sig fyrir áskrift að Samstöðinni. Samstöðin.is.
Ég heiti Kristinn Sigmundsson og styð Samstöðina. Samstöðin óháð sjónvarpsstöð sem fjallar þjóðfélagsmál á vandaðan og yfirvegaðan hátt. Ég skora á ykkur að styðja hana með því að gerast áskrifendur. Samstöðin ómissandi.